Have you ever questioned why society imposes certain expectations on men? It's a question that's often brushed aside, but it's high time we had this conversation. It's time we examined the mold that society has cast for men, a mold that can feel restrictive and suffocating. It's time we talked about breaking free from these societal pressures and expectations. We live in a world that often dictates what it means to be a man. Men are expected to be strong, stoic, and unemotional. They are expected to suppress their feelings and avoid showing vulnerability. But these stereotypes, these expectations, they limit us. They restrict our ability to fully express ourselves, to experience the full range of human emotions, and to connect with others on a deeper level. But what if we decided to challenge these norms? What if we decided to redefine what it means to be a man? Imagine the freedom that comes from breaking free from these societal expectations. Imagine the liberation of embracing your individuality, your personal values, and your unique journey to manhood. Let's consider the stories of men who have dared to break the mold, men who have dared to defy societal expectations and embrace their true selves. These are the men who have forged their own path, who have questioned the status quo, and who have found strength in their authenticity. Their stories are a testament to the power of individuality and the importance of staying true to oneself. Being a man is not about conforming to societal expectations or fitting into a predefined mold. It's about embracing who you are, unapologetically and without reservation. It's about embodying your values, pursuing your passions, and living your truth. So let's challenge these stereotypes. Let's break the mold. Let's redefine what it means to be a man. Because the first step towards authentic manhood is breaking free from the confines of societal expectations. Remember, your strength lies in your authenticity. In a world that demands conformity, it's okay to be different, to be vulnerable, and to define your own path. Embrace your uniqueness, celebrate your individuality, and together, we can redefine what it means to be a man. The first step towards authentic manhood is breaking free from the confines of societal expectations. Why do we often equate vulnerability with weakness, especially when it comes to men? This is a question that has long been ingrained in our societies, a question that we must challenge if we are to embrace authentic manhood. Let's consider the traditional stereotype of the stoic, unemotional man. This image is often seen as the epitome of strength, but it's a far cry from the reality of being human. We all experience emotions and vulnerability, and there's nothing weak about it. In fact, it takes a great deal of courage to be open and honest about our feelings. There are countless stories of men who have found strength in their vulnerability. Men who have dared to break the mold and express their emotions freely. Men who have connected deeply with others through their openness, reshaping the definition of strength in the process. Consider the story of a father who, after years of concealing his feelings, finally allows himself to cry in front of his son. This act of vulnerability not only brings them closer, but it also teaches the son a valuable lesson about emotional honesty. Or think about the story of a man who, after suffering a great loss, finds strength in sharing his grief with others. Through his openness, he not only heals himself, but also inspires others to do the same. These stories are powerful reminders that acknowledging and expressing our emotions is a part of being human. It doesn't diminish our strength, rather it enhances it. It allows us to connect with others on a deeper level, to foster empathy, and to grow as individuals. So let's challenge the notion that vulnerability is a sign of weakness, especially when it comes to men. Let's celebrate the strength found in openness, emotional expression, and connection. Let's redefine what it means to be a strong man in today's world. True strength lies not in hiding our emotions, but in the courage to express them. This is a powerful truth that we must all embrace. Because at the end of the day, authentic manhood is about being true to ourselves, unapologetically and without reservation. What if we told you that true manhood isn't defined by societal expectations, but by your own values? This question might seem like a radical departure from traditional thinking, yet it's a question that invites us to challenge long-held beliefs about masculinity and manhood. As we journey through life, we often find ourselves walking a path paved with societal expectations. Expectations that demand us to be strong, stoic, and independent. These expectations, while they might seem like the pillars of manhood, can sometimes act as a cage, limiting our potential and stifling our true selves. So let's flip the script. Let's redefine what it means to be a man. Not by the standards set by society, but by our own values, passions, and beliefs. After all, isn't authenticity the truest form of strength? Consider the story of a man who loved ballet. Despite the raised eyebrows and the whispers behind his back, he pursued his passion. He danced not because it was expected of him, but because he loved it, because it brought him joy. He defined his own expectations, and in doing so, he found his true self. Or think of the man who chose to be a stay-at-home dad, nurturing his children while his partner pursued her career. He defied societal expectations, embracing a role that was traditionally seen as not manly enough. Yet he found strength in his choice, strength in his authentic self. These men and countless others have defied societal expectations to live authentic lives. They've shown us that true manhood isn't about fitting into a predefined mold. It's about being true to who you are, pursuing your passions, and living by your values. So let's redefine manhood. Let's make it about authenticity, about individuality. Let's make it about courage. The courage to defy expectations, to break free from the mold, to be our true selves. Remember, it's not about what society expects of you. It's about what you expect of yourself. It's about living a life that is true to who you are, a life that is authentically yours. Your path to authenticity lies in defining your own expectations, not conforming to those of others. Stand tall, be proud, and embrace your unique journey to authentic manhood. How diverse is your perception of masculinity? When we talk about masculinity, often we're handed an image of a one-size-fits-all mold, but the truth is, masculinity is as varied and vibrant as the men who embody it. It's not a monolith, but a spectrum, a rich tapestry woven with threads of different colors, textures, and patterns. Each thread is unique, yet all are integral to the fabric's integrity and beauty. Just as there's diversity in nature, there's diversity in manhood too. From the compassionate caregiver to the passionate artist, from the empathetic listener to the fearless adventurer, each man has his own unique way of expressing his masculinity. And each expression adds to the richness and variety of what it means to be a man. In the past, we've seen men trying to fit into rigid molds, suppressing their individuality and uniqueness. But today, we're seeing more and more men embracing their own version of manhood, and it's a beautiful sight to behold. Think about the men who've dared to swim against the tide, who've chosen to follow their passions and interests, no matter how unconventional. Their courage to embrace their unique paths has not only enriched their own lives, but has also contributed to a broader, more inclusive picture of masculinity. But embracing diversity isn't just about celebrating our own uniqueness. It's also about accepting and respecting the uniqueness of others. It's about understanding that we're all different, yet we're all in this together. And when we learn to appreciate each other's differences, we create a more harmonious and inclusive society. There's a saying that goes, in diversity there's strength. When we come together despite our differences, we can create a force that's stronger than the sum of its parts. We can form a unity that's not based on homogeneity, but on mutual respect and understanding. So let's celebrate the diversity within masculinity. Let's encourage acceptance of our own uniqueness and of others. Because in the end, it's not about fitting into a mold. It's about being true to ourselves and respecting others for doing the same. In diversity, we find unity, and in unity, we find strength. In the face of adversity, how do you respond? Picture this. A man, standing tall against the gusts of life's storms, his resolve unbroken. He's faced heartbreak, failure, and loss. Yet he continues on, not because he's never known defeat, but because he's learned to rise from it. Now imagine another scene, a man striving towards his passions, his dreams. He's met with obstacles, with setbacks, and yet he perseveres. He doesn't allow the fear of failing to deter him. He understands that each challenge is a stepping stone on the path to success. These are stories of resilience, of men overcoming challenges and finding strength in adversity. They remind us that true manhood is not about never facing difficulties, but about having the courage to persevere when they arise. It's about standing back up, dusting off the dirt, and continuing the journey. Authentic manhood is not about never falling, but about rising every time we fall.